Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Right guys, I do apologise for that, just swapped over the microphone. Right, I know it's during the World Cup guys, but obviously England's at the World Cup, so I'm kind of not interested in the World Cup at this stage. I'm not a sore loser guys, but I hope you guys have had a fantastic World Cup. As you can see the logo in between, that's my support for the World Cup still. But yeah, we're currently at half time. I believe they're 0-0 still, but we'll see who wins. I'm vouching for Spain guys, I don't know about you guys, so put in the comments if you're interested. Right then guys, I've had a bit of update regarding the Doncaster Sheffield Airport project. Some good news, some bad news. Obviously the bad news is going to drive me forward now. Some people share the same views, some people don't. Quite frankly, I don't care about the people that don't share the same views. When I mean don't share the same views, and I'm going to explain why I'm particularly saying this. So for example, I spoke to Christian Foster, who was going to get me access to the airport. He did say he'd rather wait till the terminal was complete for me to be able to go around, take pictures, ready for 3D render. The man has gone behind his word, completely done the opposite. I spoke to Matt Chadwick, who was leading the fight for Doncaster Sheffield Airport to open, and I said to him, and I quote, "Hi Matt, did you manage to speak to anybody regarding the above?" And the above stated that I need access to the airport to get reference images to do the airport. This is all going to generate funds to help the airport and help the Vulcan. Now, Doncaster Sheffield Airport have not said I can't use the logo. They've not said I can't do this and I can't do that. But what they have stated, and this is what I quote, what Marcus sent me. "Hi Liam, this morning what you're wanting to hear is not what you want to hear, sorry. Thanks for thanks for passing this on, Mark. This is what I quote what he's received. So thanks for passing this, Mark. Just check with Dave, head of security. The issue we would have is this would be a security breach for DSA. Someone having detailed plans of our terminal layout would compromise safety and security of the airport. Dave, I get you head of security, but you are completely wrong. Manchester Airport have been done by Builds. They've been done by other. I forgot the other company. There's another developer that's done that. But I will say that I'm not saying that it's not wrong. If you do thinking, if you're not a flight simmer, stuff like that, you can understand that. Hang on, you have a detailed plans of our terminal. That could raise bomb threats. That could do this. That could do that. This is not my argument with the case for the project. I just think that airports don't understand, or people don't understand the complexities now of flight sim sceneries and how much they're generating income on different scales. I believe Birmingham realised that Pyrogy was making money from it, and then they realised, hang on, they're not going to get a slice of the cake, so they decided to go against him with money. There's certain reasons that I do know, but obviously it doesn't want me to share the reasons why. But all I can say is, regardless of Doncaster's help, the new terminal design will not be featured in it, as I won't have access to the terminal for that sense. However, if you've got a chance, guys, somebody video the terminal inside. Get me as many images as you can. The security areas, like for example the security booth, that as long as it's not modelled with the correct equipment, correct layout, it'd be fine to use. But anything like with TV cameras will not be modelled, anything like that, so you'd have to worry about that. But anyway, that's where we're at with Doncaster in terms of can I get access to the airport. I think there's been that many blatant lies from the council and blatant lies from Fly Doncaster as a whole. I think that it's kind of put a spin on my personal project, and obviously the personal project is not a thing that they care right now of, and that's purely because they need to get the airport open. It's as simple as that. However, when I've offered that the funds raised from this project will go to the Airport and Vulcan Trust. I think it's a sign of disrespect from Doncaster team. I'm not one of these people that will hide behind roses. I'm one of these that straight to the point. Same as I've had to be to the point of the terminal and say, look, hey, I've not been able to do it. I've not been able to get off that line. I've had to cancel. But there was more other stuff that I wasn't getting, I couldn't get done. But thanks to Impulse Simulations, things are pushing forward, and many thanks to some other YouTubers that have got reached out to me and says, look, and as you can see on the screen in a second, you should see it now. No, it's not. You're on the wrong screen. You're on the other screen, so you need to be the Acer screen. So as you can see, the terminal as a whole. Now you can see that the terminal is actually. I can access all the terminals. We've seen the textures, but without seeing the detailed reflections and stuff. Because to be honest with you, if I go onto this other one, which you'll see in a second, if I go onto this one, as you can see, it's slowly working, but it's extremely laggy. This is why I was going to scrap the project in one way, because I thought I can't do the full terminal. I don't have the skill set what some developers do, and I needed this. As you can see, the proper textures are there, and it's proper laggy, and that's because Viewport's using 30 gig RAM, and it's causing severe lag. And I could not get the roof. I couldn't do anything with it. But thanks to this mode, it allows it to go smooth, which allows me to edit things that I need to do, and edit the full and build the terminal as one great big terminal. And then when it comes to asset breaking down, I can break it down into separate objects. So for example, I could put the WH Smith as a separate object. I can do this. I can do that as separate objects. I think the thing that I need to look at is how to stop it from popping in and out of play. So for example, if I imagine this is the terminal there, so if I was in the sim and you was viewing it from there, them stairs would disappear. And yeah, when you're at that range, you don't need to see these signs. You don't need to see that. You don't need to see this sat pack desk here. That could disappear. But the only time that desk needs to be needed is when it's where you can see it. So at any point you can see it. So for example, if you was there and you could just see it, it needs to be there. So they're the type of things that we're going to be looking at developing and stuff. But this project, I'm going to have to really push it. So I'm going to have to possibly start again, guys, in terms of custom objects. However, the scenery that I've already done, I don't have to. If I delete the custom objects, I can leave all the Microsoft's assets in. I can leave all the ground textures. The runway will still be in place, so none of that's going to get messed up. It's just I managed to do every single object again. Now the fences that I put in, there were over 1,000 fences, so every one of them fences is going to have to be unplaced again. There's going to be a lot of changes to the details. So for example, in the terminal, as you can see, the roof shape has changed. So yes, it's not got the middle section, but I can't put the middle section in until I've sorted this section out. And so currently that's going to have to stay like that for now until I can confirm the roof's actually complete, which I can't do until this back window's complete. So if I go back into the terminal here, you can kind of see that I've changed the roof, so I've had to completely do the new roof braces. So the last roof braces, they weren't connected to the roof, they didn't look right, I'm not saying these look perfect, however, without access to the terminal, I have to use my imagination a bit. So even though they're very close to what it looks, you can see that I've redone the roof strut, so they're now bolted to the roof. And I found a way to get these bolts to connect. So for example, they're not fully connected, so they need to be there. So I can do that. Now, at the minute they're not textured properly, but they will be textured. What I'm better off doing is get everything set as you would want it, and then when I break it down. So for example, if I like that, copy, and then V. So for example, as you can see, it's copied and paste that object. I'll just copy that and put it into another file. So then that should break it down. So that's the way the level of detail system is going to kick in play. So that's another thing that I need to look at. So for example, I need to look at these floors as well. So for example, they need cutting out. That needs cutting out. So I can easily do all that. I just simply put a boolean tool and just remove them, which should be an easy task. I quote, should be an easy task, but we'll see. Right, guys, there's not much of a thing. I just want to let you know that I've had a bit of a break from things. So obviously I've been working on Saturday. Doncaster, it was cancelled, but due to your support, guys, I really thank you guys for getting my confidence back, wanting to get this project. I didn't realise how much it meant to people when I saw in the comment section. I did see a comment that why don't you release it to the community. That is not something that I'm going to do, because ultimately this project needs to make money, and this project is not money for me. This is for the Vulcan. So I would rather let this project rot in the ground than release it to the community in a state that's not acceptable, because ultimately it needs to be acceptable and it needs to perform, because at the end of the day it's not just a project or a product for you guys to play with on your flight sims. It's also going to be something that's going to be a symbol that is going to help the Vulcan. So that is one major factor. Going forward from now on, I'm going to keep streams as professional as possible. I'm going to make sure they look professional. As you can see, the new logo, which is just going to pop up. Sorry, this one. So as you can see, that everything I've started shaping up, I've starting to up the game. So I'm starting to make sure that everything is what's expected from a developer. I'm not any builds, guys, so you're just going to have to bear with me. This terminal, I'm going to have to redo all the windows, all the structures. Going to have to, I've got to lower all these. The terminal's slightly bigger than before, which the terminal was out of dimensions last time. So the problem I've got is I can only draw what I can see without the proper access to the terminal to measure things and stuff. And we're at the spot of Doncaster Sheffield Airport. This is not going to be a viable project in terms of accuracy. So all I can do is go off what people's videos. I've been watching YouTube videos. I've been watching viewing people's pictures from the holiday photos that they've posted online of the terminal. So everything what I've done, what you guys see, is what I've drawn from videos. So let's get the terminal over the line. Let's get the terminal performing, and then we'll have a look at the other assets and see how the project turns out. But I think we need to get the terminal done. Right now, you're going to see it's not got many objects in it, guys, and that's purely because the objects need to be loaded. So which means that the objects are going to be individually built. So that's going to improve performance. So for example, if you're on the back end of this terminal, you don't want to be seeing the wheelchairs that was under there. So they'll only pop in when you're actually down near the wheelchair. So that is something that's you're going to see plenty of. Just look at the comments. Yeah, I've got to be patient. I mean, obviously, I'm lacking patience at the minute because it's 2 years going on this project. Obviously, bit of a heartbreak for me. I did do a video, guys. I didn't release it because I went emotional. I was just a bit. You could clearly hear in my voice. I was frustrated. I felt a bit degraded. I thought I didn't have the quality, the attitude. I felt like that because I've gave up 2 years of my daughter's life, guys. 2 years. I mean, she's 2 now, and I've gave up 2 years to try and get this project over the line. And obviously, I was living the living arrangements that I was in what wasn't the best. And obviously now I've got my own house and everything, guys. So everything what I'm doing now is going to be spaced out where I can do it, when I can do it. Obviously I'm working full time, but this project needs to be as accurate as I can. So thank you to the guys that supported me through it. There's not much to show today. It's just obviously it was just to show you that what's been going on in the terminal. So for example, I've rebuilt all this terminal from scratch. So for example, this here, that is not actually there. That is a boolean tool. Sorry. So that one down there needs to go down. And what that actually is a invisible boolean. So not building, sorry, invisible floor, which means when you walk up here, you won't fall through the ground, and all these will be accurate. So I am going to spend a bit of time tonight, get this done a bit more. I'm not going to do any more detail in terms of this. So right now it looks a bit laggy. That's because of the stream. It always streams lag. So as you can see, I've still not going to let the detail go, guys. So obviously the ground textures might not look right there, but that's because the view it's in this software. I've turned it on to solid, and the reason why it removes reflection to it so I can edit it smoother. So this is actually metal, guys. So you look like a metal colour. A minute in this viewport, the metal and colours don't show apart from textures. So it'll only show objects that have got textures on. So even though these have got textures, they don't have a base texture, they just have a normal texture and just a natural colour. And that's to save memory and performance. So, yeah guys, that's it. It's not a massive video, it's just a quick update. I am okay, I'm still about, guys. Thank you for those that were asking. Support's been great. Josh, thank you for Impulse Simulations, you've been absolutely fantastic. He has offered, guys, to get Builds to try and support the project. However, I don't believe Builds will take on the project without money, and it's not something that I'm willing to do, because at the end of the day, this native project needs to make maximum profit for the Vulcan Trust. That's the aim, and I will not give in, guys. So I'll try and get this over the line. Until I know a definite, I won't just keep coming saying, "Oh, I can't do this," and we'll stop. If the next time I say I can't do this, that'll be the end of the project. But at the moment, we're not there yet. Now I'm taking some time off and thinking about it. Just give me time, guys, and we'll get over the line. So yeah, all right, and guys, again, I hope you have a fantastic rest of World Cup. I know it's a short video and there's not much to show you, but it was just, like I said, just to get the aim of my sense of direction, the mentality of what was going off. Probably shouldn't have announced it, especially just after England went out the World Cup. So I'm very passionate at football, but it was nothing that didn't influence it at all. But obviously the video that I did, that's still on my phone, which I'm not going to do now because I don't think it's right. But what I am going to plan to do is do the next video that I'm probably going to do is a more professional video. So I'm going to do you might see me at the airport. So if you guys are interested, I'll announce the date. So if you want to meet me, you can meet me at Manchester Airport. I will be at the viewing park recording. The reason I'm doing it at the viewing park is I recently did it at Santoff, but because it's an active airfield, I don't want to be like going on site too much because it draws a lot of attention to people. I went to Santoff last time and it drew some attention, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it at Manchester Viewing Park. So if you guys want to speak to me about the project or anything, just obviously we'll keep the safe direction as well for everybody else, and we can do it on there. We can have a chat, maybe potential projects and stuff like that. And one last thing before I end the video, Netherthorpe Airfield was a project that I announced that I was going to be working on. The people at the airfield promised they'd get in touch with me, they never did. I think Brian Practically Geek knew about it, but obviously it is restricted to what he can announce. But I'm glad I didn't do it, because Burning Blue Design have come out and actually done a fantastic representation of the airfield, which I did want to do, but obviously they've beat me to it, so credits to them. And obviously I'm working on Doncaster Sheffield Airport, guys, and then my next project, obviously I'm working along Sackerdin as well, so that's 2 projects I'm working on. So Sackerdin will probably come out before Doncaster, and Doncaster will follow on as long as it is, but I will not release an unfinished product, guys. So I will quote again, no products will be unfinished. So that's the way I want to go forward, because at the end of the day, if you're paying your hard-earned money, it's got to be there. The quality's got to be there, guys. So, but yeah, thank you, guys. Keep the positives up, keep the support coming. If you work at Doncaster, or you've been at Doncaster Sheffield Airport and you want to help me get this project over the line, you want to share some reference images. The area that I want you in particular is below the premium lounge on the left hand side. That's the main area I can't see, and possibly the arrivals area. So again, guys, thank you for the support. I'll see you again.